Alrighty. Which is funny because it's we were last 60 seconds. So okay. I'm actually gonna today. I'm gonna go look up. What do I how to use touch. How to calibrate?
Good. Wait, glasses? That's new.
I've always worn glasses. What are you talking about?
Man, today you could fuck with my head and I'd probably believe it.
Is that supposed to be a joke?
Is what's supposed to be my face? What? So what's with the glasses? Are they like blue light glasses?
Yeah.
Okay. How's your morning going? It's got to be better than mine.
Yeah, I think so. I broke up with Felix.
Oh shit! How did it go?
I mean, he took it really well. I mean, he's very mature, and so like he's sort of like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to just do what makes sense for you instead of trying to hold on to something. So he's like, I was a little afraid it would be, I don't know what else for, but like he didn't, other than saying like, yeah, it's like, feelings are kind of hurt, but like beyond that, it's like totally understand. I get it, value you. So it's like, yeah, it went about as well as something like that can go. It was,
All right.
yeah. Jessica message me. Wow, that's amazing. I'm really happy.
It's amazing that you broke up with Felix, or is that unreal?
No, she was asking me for some.
It's funny because I literally messaged her like this morning because we did the money constellation thing like a couple of days ago, and now I get robbed. I'm like, I wonder what this means. Like, we do the money constellation thing, then a couple of days after, like, we get this like, multi-million-dollar idea, and we're literally building a business, and then today get robbed. I'm like, there has to be a link between these things, right?
I think so. I mean, couple of days ago, I paid a whole bunch of our credit card bills, and let go of some money, and then like all of this flow started happening. It's like that was before we came up with this idea. It was like Friday, I think, is when I started. So it's like I think there's something about like money doesn't want to be tied down in a sense. So it's like the way that we don't like for other people to tell us what to do, and we want to kind of be free to like work the way that we like that works for us. I kind of think that that's the way that money works. And so it's like by holding on to the money that you have, like if you aren't doing something with it, it's just sitting there. It's like putting water in a glass and then just leaving it on the counter. It's like, well, that water's gonna leave. Might take a long time, but it's like it's gonna evaporate at some point.
It's just funny with this whole experience. Like, yeah, okay, it sucks that the guy stole the money and everything, but it's like I messaged my friend explaining what happened, and he's like, man, like, you're an idiot. You shouldn't have let him leave. You should have like beat the shit out of him and like taken your money back. And he's like, yeah, you're an idiot. Like, you shouldn't go do your challenge and walk on the beach. You're probably like gonna end up dying or some shit. And it's like his message pissed me off more than getting robbed.
Wow.
And I'm like, why? That's weird. Like, is it because he called me out of my shit when it's like true? It's like after a couple minutes, I'm like, why the fuck did I let him leave? Like, I should have followed him. And it's like, I don't know. I guess I was just like, this was my first time getting robbed. Like, I didn't really know how to react. Oh, the woman just got back. Hold on, let me go check.
Sure.
See what's happening.
See, I'm really sorry what happened. The police is trying to find him. He's not. Yeah. But we're trying to find him. I was going to walk because someone told me that maybe he's here in one of these houses in the back with a friend. Many people knows him here, the tour company, because he's a guy. He's a guy, but not from here. And many people thought, yes, he has problems. He's he's here. So they know him and they have groups on WhatsApp and they are talking like, please try to find him, try to find him. If someone find him, maybe you're gonna kill him or something because everybody hates. So I didn't know. I'm not from here. I live here since 2.5 years. But the police is trying to find him in this area. And another guy also. But probably he's around. If not, maybe he's going to Dominical or
Yeah, I was
around.
wondering, like maybe I go to the bus station up there.
I was there
Oh, okay.
in the car. I was in Olvita trying to find him in the car. No, con mucho gusto. So, how much was it?
100,000.
100,000.
This point is the 18.
The police is gonna come to. They need to do them.
Yeah.
I will try to find work here because someone. So the guy told me, be careful, it can be dangerous or something. So, but the police is here now.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. I will be around here, but I want to walk. Because walking, I can see in the houses, and I know how it looks. But yeah, everybody knows in the tour company, so they are checking out.
Thank you for all your efforts.
Yeah, no, sorry for that. I'm back. I hope I'm back soon.
All right. Could be worse. I know, it's like I went back up to the room to like check that everything was still there, and when I came back down, I'm like, why didn't I follow him? I was like an idiot. Oh well. Anyway, I'm on a call, so I need to get back to it. Yeah, so maybe it's good we didn't confront him too much. Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm back. It's funny because I put the volume down on the phone, but I forgot to mute you. So I guess you
At least I wasn't making much
heard what
noise.
did you hear what she was saying, or was the sound not good enough?
It was, I wasn't paying a lot of attention. All I heard was basically like they didn't get him, but they think he might still be around. Like that was the gist of what I thought I heard.
Yep, that was pretty much it. But apparently, like, there's a bunch of other people who know him, so it's like everyone's kind of like talking, trying to figure out where he is and trying to, locate him. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, the cops will be here eventually. We'll probably have to give our statement, but I'm not really doing much.
Interesting to see how this pans out.
Well, I mean, how it's going to pan out. We're not going to get our money back. The guy's going to get away. That's like the odds are that's what's going to happen. But, and she was like, oh yeah, apparently, like, I forget who it was, but someone told her like, oh yeah, be careful. He might be dangerous. I'm like, well, maybe it's good that I didn't like try to stop him from leaving, because like, I guess those kinds of people like who don't give a shit, like they would probably be like, hey, if I feel like I can't leave and I'm gonna be trapped, like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking stab you if that means I can go, So maybe it's for the best.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought of that.
Like, imagine walking 100 kilometers if on top of that I got stabbed the day before. But still, like, at least, I can.
Now that would make for an amazing story. You're like, yeah, I walked 100,000 kilometers. The twist is I got stabbed the day before.
I don't think I'm that badass. I'm pretty sure if I got, Before I'd be like, yeah, okay, let's wait for the challenge.
Well, you are. You just might not do it in that particular form.
Although I could word it in such a way that it seems like impressive. It's like I did 100, like I walked 100 kilometers in a day, and on top of that, I was stabbed before. Like it can be a year before. I don't need to specify that. No one has to know. Yeah, like whatever ends up happening with. Oops. You seem frozen on your end. Oh, there you go. So anyway, whatever ends up happening, like I want to. That would have been amazing if you froze like that. So yeah, whatever ends up happening, like I want to use this as fuel, as motivation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, how can I use this to be like, all right, that guy robbed me, whatever, like it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to a place where I don't give a shit about $190 ever again.
Yeah.
All right, so what should we do? You just want to float, or should we work on the business?
Well, yesterday we said we were going to float, and we ended up working on this. So I'm okay starting there.
All right, well, in the interest of floating,
I'm like.
wait, you're watching yourself? What? That's so weird.
Has like a camera on it, so
Nice.
I pulled up Zoom right before you. So I was like, I wonder if the camera on here works. So I wonder if you could actually do like Zoom meetings on there, and then be able to like draw on it and stuff.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe that's how I'll do my classes.
Anyway, yeah, okay. So in the interest of floating, I wonder like what this means, because yesterday, like I was literally in the mind space of like, I'm literally gonna say like farewell to everyone that I care about, just on the off chance that I die. Like the odds of that happening are very slim, but I just felt the need to do that. So I did that. And after I was done, like I sent an email to like my family, because like my mom and dad don't have like cell phones, so I can't call them. So anyway, sent an email, like a long email to my family, and like messaged all my closest friends on Messenger. And like I literally said farewell to everyone. It's like after that, I was such in such like a state of peace, of like I'm ready for this challenge. Like no matter what happens next, like I'm okay. And then like this morning, what happens next? I get robbed, and I'm just like, what does this mean? And I really don't know. Like maybe it's external motivation to get me to just, do the work and get the results that I need. That may be the cops that are getting here. We'll see. Anyway, I'm wondering, like, what is the meaning of this?
Yeah. Okay, so what's coming up for me is like, what if I'm supposed to be doing what you're doing in a different form? So like we've talked about this idea of like, you're me, just like a slightly different version of the universe. It's like, so if we're like so far away from the mega timeline, it's like this is our version of it. Like what if the building the business is the
Sorry. I'm gonna have to interrupt you because the cops are here, so I'm assuming
Sure.
they're gonna want to ask me questions.
Okay, I'll mute myself so I won't distract you.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just keep the phone in my pocket and you can do whatever you want to. Actually, you can unmute yourself. I'm just gonna turn down the volume and
Do you speak Spanish a little bit? Or something?
yeah, I can understand. It's just speaking is a little more
Because
difficult. Yeah, sure.
they want that you make a report, but you have to talk with him, and
Sure.
he's gonna
Yeah.
write everything.
So yeah, if you want, you can unlock. I mean, you can unmute yourself and keep talking and do what you want on your end. I'm just gonna turn the volume off on my end.
Cool. All right, so hopefully this won't bother you. See if we can play with this. See what I can find out. Yeah, I'm trying to get the Wi-Fi set up. We'll connect. What else? Just add. It's connected. Pretty close. Oh, man.
And I'm back.
Ta-da!
It's funny because I muted everything on my end, but I could still hear you for some reason. So good thing you were talking the whole time.
That's hilarious. Well, maybe that's a sign from the universe that it doesn't need to be what I'm doing. As somebody had posted, like, what's your best manifesting tip? And I started to answer it. I'm like, that's not my market. That's not who I need to be connecting with. Like, I was just gonna dive into something that wasn't for me. And all of a sudden,
Dude, I just realized something. I suck at manifestation. I tried to manifest money and I got negative money. It's kind of funny when you.
have you tried? Did I tell you about the conversation I had, Jessica, about that?
I have a fun idea.
Yeah.
What if, okay, I'm going to put this intention in the universe. I want that 100,000 like colones or 190 Canadian to find its way back to me. Whether it's like, hey, the cops like get the guy and we get our money back, or it's like I find money or like I win something or whatever, like let's call that money back. Let's just test this out, see what happens.
I like it.
Actually, it's funny because like there's some refunds that are supposed to be coming my way at some point. It would be so funny if like I get it today.
That would be crazy.
So wait, there's like a TV blackboard and an actual whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Check this way.
This is interesting. I usually try to live life without regrets, but I'm slightly regretting not following him. Like I just reacted like instinctively of like, oh, I'm gonna go double check to make sure that all my stuff is still there. But I should have just followed him and been like to the other girl, like, hey, can you like, you know, call the cops or whatever? And it's like, I'm gonna follow him. Because now like we have no clue where he is. Like they suspect he's still in the neighborhood and they're like, you know, trying to find him, but I could have just followed him. Oh well, it's like no point in living in the past. It's just I haven't had this sensation of regret for a while. It's like it feels weird. I'm not used to it anymore.
Supposedly, this is supposed to be sharing my screen through this thing, but it's not doing it. I'm supposed to share my screen.
What are you trying to do exactly?
Let me see. Supposedly you can like share stuff from your computer to this display. So I could essentially like do a PowerPoint presentation and then draw on it while doing like a Zoom or something.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, it just turned off. Something. So I wonder.
Oh yeah,
Wonder
sorry.
about this.
Before the interview, you were starting to say like, because I was like, what's the meaning of this? And then you started answering, and it's just like the cops like showed up and I had to go. Like, do you remember what you were gonna say?
Yeah. Yeah. So what I was going to say is like, what if the 100K that you're going to do physically is like the stuff that I need to do in the business, and you losing money in like from like somebody stealing it is like being like, what money do I need to let go of that will open up space for new money to come in? And does that mean like paying a VA to like do some of the busy work things, or does it mean just start paying my bills and expecting that money's going to come in? Like what I'm seeing is like we're both at this space where it's like we have a lot of things to do, and it's like becoming the kind of person who is going to allow that thing to materialize through us is what changes the nature of reality from our perspective. And so I'm just wondering, like I'm seeing like this parallel track, like since we seem to go through these very similar journeys all the time. It's like, oh yeah, the same thing's happening to me, but like in a slightly different way. I'm like, what if like what we're planning, like we're seeing it before it happens? And so it's just sort of a like, oh, this is like our way of like turning the world, like making it spin just a little bit faster. So like, yeah, what I'm wondering is like, we're getting to the place where we can see ahead a little bit, where we know we need to just, oh yeah, this is the thing, that's the path, like just start running down that direction. So it's like in whatever way that, it's like doing an ultra marathon or walking 100K or like getting up and leaving Canada and your apartment and stuff. It's like none of those things seem like they make a lot of logical sense, but it changes all of the stuff that's happening in your life so much, and like so many things come out of it. Like if you had said last year like, oh, my goal is to write a book in a month, and that's something that I imagine myself doing like in the future, like go away to a cabin. Like if you had made it happen the way that you had planned to do it or had thought that it could happen, probably would never have happened, or you would have spent tons of energy forcing it to happen. Whereas like you just followed what felt right, and by getting in that space of like, oh, I'm letting go of this, I'm doing something new, I'm like going completely off on an adventure, and like all of that energy is just kind of like poured into like, oh, I'm at the place where it naturally feels like what I should do next is write my book so I can let it go, and maybe I'm done being an author, and it just like happened. And I think it's sort of like the stuff that we want is always there bubbling under the surface. The stuff that is really part of us, that is part of the person we really truly are and are becoming, it's never going to go away. And so if we start honoring and listening to the part of us that's like, oh, this really feels like what I need to be doing, I'm listening to what it says inside. It's like the order of stuff doesn't make logical sense, but it's like the stuff that is actually available to us, and we become more of ourselves in those things, so that like when an opportunity comes up, so that it might fulfill something that we want that's just kind of always there looking for a place to come out. It's like you're in that space where you are authentically yourself and you're in motion and you're used to doing the things that come up.
It's funny. Something you said before was, like, maybe this is the universe. Like, you need to make space in order to receive.
Mhm.
Like, wait, I was forced to make space. So it's like, okay, 100,000 colones went out. What if what comes back in is $100,000 instead? Like that would be like amazing. Like 100,000 for 100,000, except it's worth 500 more because it's like 500 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, that math doesn't make sense. Because it's 100,000 colones is $190.
It's
Does that make sense?
it's almost 50 times.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that does make sense. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's almost like a 50x
Yeah,
return on
500
investment.
times 190. Okay, that does make sense. Cool.
All right,
Like,
so
that
what
would
is
be
50?
insane. Like that would just be like that would prove like, okay,
Yeah,
this is,
so
so
190 times 50 is $9,500.
wait, is it 5,000 and not 500?
Maybe
I
it's
thought it was
maybe it's
501, but
500.
maybe it's 5,000.
190. Okay, let's do it this way. 100,000 divided by 190. Yeah, it's 526.
Okay.
So it's like a 500, but that's not
No. Oh yeah, because we're also like converting, because we're doing like double conversion.
mhm.
Because it's like what's
Oh
going
yeah.
out is colones, what's coming back in is USD. So it's like, yeah, of course it
Uh-huh.
doesn't. It's logical.
Yeah, it's like
But
500,
it's like
500x
I
return on investment.
really hope this happens just because it's going to prove something so magical of like numbers have a significance, but the value behind the numbers is pointless. Like
Mhm.
less than $200, but the number was 100,000, and what I get back is 100,000. So it's like once you understand that, then you're like, okay, it's just about manifesting the right numbers in the
Mhm.
right currency. It's just like that would just blow my mind so much. Like, all right, I'm requesting this money back, but I'm not requesting it in any specific currency. So that means that whether it's like 100,000 colones or 100,000 Canadian or US, like
Mhm.
whatever is meant to come back is what is going to come back. But that would be like such cool magic of like universe took like $190 and gave me like $100,000 in return. But I feel like because money is such a man-made thing, that to the universe it's all the same. Like 100,000 colones or 100,000 US dollars to the universe, it's like it's still 100,000. Like changes nothing to me. Which currency do you
Mhm.
want it in? Man, that would be
Okay,
huge
so
for a while. Like
if we charge
investing
if we
190 bucks,
charge
make
19,
100,000.
yeah. So if we charge like 1997 or just under $2,000 for this course, that's 55 people that we would need to get it over 100,000. It's that would be about 109,800. so that kind of evens out like the fees and stuff. Still before tax, but so I'm trying to think. Like, so
I mean,
what could we do to
the
like launch
exact
this
math
and then ask?
I don't feel like we need to force it. I just feel like this is
Yeah,
just kind of like a test that the universe, well, at least it's a test for me, but it's kind of like the universe is testing
yeah.
me. And depending on how I react, the result will be different.
Mm,
Because imagine, like, if this happens and I get the like $100,000 back instead,
uh-huh.
I'm gonna go like full out on this of like, hey, all right, I need to put this amount out to get this amount back, but the currency can be different. So it's like, all right,
Mhm.
how can I, give in order to receive?
Yeah.
This is like ultimate manifestation. It's like instead of, oh, I'm gonna manifest this, it's like, no, the universe is manifesting it for me.
Mhm. Yeah. Let's see. Start thinking about the numbers. What is the feeling?
It's funny because the resulting feeling for me was like, hey, I did almost everything that I could have. The only thing that I regret is not following him, but not because that I like bitched out or anything. I just kind of like I was focused on something else, and by the time that occurred to me, it was too
Mhm.
late. And like the end conclusion was, I'm not gonna let this affect me. I'm not gonna stop trusting people because of one asshole.
Yeah.
And it's like the conclusion is like, you can do whatever the hell you want. You're not gonna change me unless I want to change.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm leaning more and more into that. I think that's what it means, like for me to be the asshole of like, you can do what you want. That's not going to impact me. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, two of my friends are like, oh, you shouldn't like walk on the beach because like, there's like wild animals and there could be like drug dealers on the beach with like boats and stuff. And it's like whatever they come up with, like it doesn't matter. But it's like two of my friends are like, oh man, you shouldn't do that. Like you should pick a safer route for your challenge. And I'm like, yeah, I appreciate it, but fuck you. I decided that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to do. I may change my mind during, depending on how I feel during, but I'm not going to change my mind just because you're telling me that it's dangerous. For the
Right.
exact same reason that whenever I'm traveling, people are like, oh, be careful, it's dangerous. And I've never been careful and I've always been fine. And the one time that I did get robbed is in a place where I should be safe at the hostel. So it's like, I'm not going to stop myself because of what other people say, think, or do. And I think this is just like another way of the universe to kind of test me of like, okay,
Mhm.
you decided you want to be that person. Let me just like prove it to me.
Yeah. Where are you again? What
Which
country?
country or like where in the country?
Which country? I forget. I don't even remember what country.
Costa Rica. Which is
Costa
ironic.
Rica. That's right.
It's supposed to be like of the three countries I've been to, it's arguably the safest one. Uh, And it's funny
I
too,
typed
because up
in.
until now, the one place I got like robbed was in Canada when someone stole my bike. Like that was the only until now, that was the only time that I ever like got stolen from. And it's like Canada is like arguably like the safest country in the world.
Mhm.
So it's ironic. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was looking up Costa Rica and I typed in D and the first thing that came up was dangerous animals.
It's just I can't help but be amused by the timing and the circumstances of everything. It's like it's the safest
Mhm.
country it's in a place where I should be safe. And
Mhm.
I literally went to the ATM to get that money out yesterday. And it's like the odds of this happening the way that it did are so slim that it's like
Mhm.
there has to be a reason for this, you know? You seem to be doing some research.
I was looking up. I wanted to see what people said about Costa Rica. Like, just curious. So, what do you? Let's see. So, what does it feel like is the right next thing for us to become? Not become ourselves because we already are that, but like to okay.
It's hard to answer a question if you don't finish your question.
I don't know. I don't like what just came up for me is like I don't need anything. It's like staying in that space where you don't need anything is how things work out. It's sort of like when you go to the fridge and you're just like mindlessly looking for something to eat and you're like, I don't see anything I want. Like I don't like why can't I find anything that I'm looking for? And it isn't until you like get really clear on like, am I actually hungry or am I just bored? Or is there something that I'm actually wanting, but I don't see? It's like if I actually know, oh, well, actually what I want is like chocolate, but there's not any chocolate in the fridge. So I can either go to the pantry or like go out and buy some chocolate because that's what I feel like I want right now. Or like, oh, I don't actually need to eat. I'm just like, I'm trying to entertain myself somehow. It's like what I actually want to do is, you know, relax or take a break from what I was doing before. But it's like until you actually look inside and see like what's actually there, whatever you're searching for or looking for is not gonna like it's not gonna just materialize that answer there because it's not where that thing is coming from. So I think what I was seeing is like asking this question, like, what do we need to do to become more of ourselves? It's that like that looking in the fridge. It's like, what's the right thing? That's the next step. And it's like, actually, no, what we actually need to do is like figure out like who is it that we really want to be? Like, what are the things that we have done from experience so far that we're like, I really love that. Like, I want to do more of that. I want to be more of that. Like, that's the energy I need to follow. And in this new stuff I'm doing, is like bring that guy out. So yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
feel
to
like
answer the initial question you started to ask, it's like I don't think we need to do anything. I think we just need to keep doing what we're doing.
mhm.
Like we're building the business. I'm getting ready to do that challenge. Like I'm doing what I need to be doing. And it's like these tests by the universe, like it's not gonna phase me. You think that's gonna phase me?
Mhm.
And it's funny too, because of all the like the things that I've put in my head and that others have put in my head, I feel like when I'm gonna do this challenge, it's gonna be the middle of the night. And it's like I'm gonna have to cross a river. I'm gonna be like, should I cross it? I could just walk back in the other direction. But if I cross the river,
Mhm.
it's like giving up. Even though it's like, yeah, okay, there is a slight, a very slight chance that there could be an alligator in there, but
Mhm.
and if I cross the river, he's gonna, eat me. But the odds of that are very, very slim because I'm walking by the ocean and it's like a mixture of salt water and normal water, and there's tourists there during the day, so the crocs just like stay away, But it's like
Yeah.
it could, you never know.
Mhm.
And it's like I wonder what the experience of that is going to be like, because for now it's easy to say like, okay, the odds are very slim, like who cares? But like when you're in the moment,
Mhm.
you don't know how you're going to react. And I'm
Mhm.
kind of looking forward to that, and I'm wondering how am I going to react? Like, am I going to bitch out and turn around, or am I going to be like, all right, screw this. If I'm meant to die, I'm going to die and cross the river. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like I did everything that I needed to do in order to be ready
Mhm.
for that. As like, if I was in that situation, I didn't take the time to say like farewell to everyone just on the off chance. It's like
Mhm.
there would be that in the back of my mind. Whereas now it's like I'm ready, whatever happens. Like I don't want to die. I hope I don't die, but
Mhm.
it's like I prepared for this eventuality. So if this is what's
Yeah.
meant to happen, that's what's meant to happen.
So what would
And I think this is the first challenge I've ever done where there is like a legitimate risk of death, like a very low risk, but it could happen.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's cool. Like I posted on Facebook yesterday just because like that's the feeling that was coming up of like if you're not challenging yourself to the point where you feel the need to reach out to your loved ones to let you know how
Mhm.
much you care about them, just in case the worst were to happen, you're not challenging yourself enough.
Mhm.
And it's like that's true. That's the kind of life I want to live. Not because like I want
Mhm.
to put myself in danger, just because like I don't want to let anything, including
Mhm.
the prospect of death, stop me from doing what feels right inside.
Yeah.
Plus, it'd be kind of funny if like after everything, this is how I die. Like it seems like a really stupid way to die.
Dang. I think I just understood something uh,
But I'm an idiot.
through what you said. what you said is like, if you're not challenging yourself enough, you feel the need to reach out and tell people. Here's like what I feel like is I've spent a good chunk of my life cultivating like this habit of letting people know that they're important to me. It's like I'm like, I don't want to wait to the point in my life where something were to happen, where like circumstances change so that like I don't get that chance anymore. It's like I want to just always be making those investments and doing stuff. But what I just realized was on some level, it doesn't mean the same thing. Like when, in movies or like, like even in real life, like in disasters, wars, or it's like the last call where somebody knows like, I'm probably not going to make it. It's like, hey, I just want to let you know that I love you. It's like that moment and that choice of meaning of like, I need to let you know that you matter to me and this is the last thing that I do. It's like that shows the level of importance to you. It's like, this is what I'm going to do when I think that I may not be able to do anything else. And what I'm seeing is like by doing that, like letting people know that I care about them over and over and over again, but there's nothing at stake. It's not that it's not true. It doesn't mean anything, but it's like the 100,000 in Costa Rican dollars versus like American dollars. It's like it's real and it matters in that context. But there's another 100,000 that matters a lot more. And it's the same number, it's the same object that you use to trade for things, but it's like if I'm living my life in a way where this might blow up in my face, I might like regret everything that I'm doing. Like I might have to claw my way back from stuff. Like, and I still take the time to let people know that I love them. It's sort of like I tell my wife, like, hey, I love you. Like all the stuff I'm doing for our family. It's like, but if I'm not actually making a lot of real sacrifices, like if it's not hard and hurting me sometimes, it's like the sentiment of I love you is not the same one as like I might destroy myself doing this stuff for my family, but I want you to know like that's why I'm doing it. It's like it matters to me enough that I'm willing to put myself through a whole lot of discomfort and maybe failure. And so by playing it safe and by doing the easy stuff, and choosing to stay there, like I'm losing out on the experience of like choosing to do harder things and being able to raise the level of like the value of what that interaction can be. So it's sort of like, if this is my like 100-kilometer run, but it's in like how many things did you get done in your business, or like how much did you care about the work that you were doing? Were you doing the bare minimum, or were you doing it like really putting every ounce of you into it, even if it's like imperfect, but taking actions? Like, are you doing it to the best of your ability? Are you making it you? And it's like if you're not living at that level, it's the same as like you're not challenging yourself to the point where it looks like I might not make it. I think, yeah, what I'm seeing is like so much of why I've been holding myself back is because I'm afraid of what people will think. It's like I'm afraid of the failure. I'm afraid of the rejection of it. And by like only doing stuff that feels like is easy or simple, or by by spending so much effort trying to make other people happy and accommodate, that I lose the essence of what makes me. It's like I'm not taking any risks. I'm not living my life in that way. That took a long time to get out for something that was just like a quick realization. I wonder why it is that like we get these moments of like understanding, but like to find a way to say it is so, it's such a process.
I don't know, but what you said reminded me of something that I realized, I think it was yesterday. And that is the principle. I think I understand why challenges are so important to me and why they're so valuable. It's because if I challenge myself physically to such an extreme that there's the possibility of death, in comparison, the normal struggles of life become super easy. It's like, hey, if I have to walk 100 kilometers and like I almost die, it's like in comparison, sitting down and listening to an audiobook and taking notes, that is super fucking easy. Whereas before, that was like the hardest thing in my life at the moment. So it's like not consistently, but like regularly, like every couple months, or maybe even just like once a year, doing something that hard that pushes yourself so much, you're like, okay, in comparison, everything else in my life is easy. I think that's why I'm so drawn to challenges. So I think that is my solution to making my life easy. Instead of making easier, I'm like, I'm going to make certain areas of my life so challenging and difficult that in comparison, everything else is going to seem easy. So instead of like, oh, I'm going to level down and simplify things, it's like, no, I'm going to level up certain areas of my life so that I'm in such a like high level that in comparison, normal stuff that used to seem hard is now easy. I think that is the solution, because every time I'm like, there's always the fighting inside of me whenever I'm like, oh, well, I'll take the easy, simple way. It's like, well, yeah, but I'm just being lazy. Whereas with this strategy, it's like, I can't say that I'm being lazy because I'm literally leveling up so much that normal life becomes easy. Then like, there's never that sensation of guilt or like taking the easy way out or regret.
Yeah.
Like, I'm making my life easier by making my life more difficult, which sounds counterintuitive and really dumb. But for me, that's so much more empowering. I think that's why successful people do things so easily. It's not because it's easy. It's because they've become so good that to them it's easy. But to the average person, it's super hard.
What?
I don't know.
Like to who? What's easy?
Because we look at like people, like very successful people, and they do things, and it's like it seems so easy for them. And we're like, oh, it's easy. And then we try and we fail, and we're like, I just suck because they did it and it was super easy, and I tried and I failed. But it's like people who make things look easy have worked so hard and built up the skills so much that to them it actually is easy. But to the average person, it's nearly impossible. So it's not about making things easy. It's about becoming so good at something that it becomes easy. It's kind of
That
like,
makes a lot of sense.
I
Yeah,
think that
and if you think about it from that standpoint, it's like the
think like that's the beauty of we've been leaning into, like it feels right to just become the purest version of ourselves.
Mhm.
Because when we are that, it's like, even if we do something that is difficult, we're like, I'm doing it because it's me. It's who I am. It's not like, it is challenging, but it's not difficult for me because there's no other options. This is who I am. That is how I live life. And to other people, they're like, oh my God, that's so hard. That's so impressive. That's like ridiculously like difficult. But to you, it's like, it is challenging, but it's not difficult because this is who I am. What's difficult is downplaying myself and taking the easy route. Huh, that's interesting. That's a cool realization. So it's not about it being easy or simple. It's about this being the only way for who I am. And it's like Jessica yesterday was asking me, like, why are you doing this challenge? And my answer was because it's who I am. It's what I do. It's like, that is the simple, true answer. But like, this is just who I am. Like, there's no reason why I'm doing this. I could make it way easier on myself. But this is the way it's supposed to do, and that's what feels right. It's just like, that's me.
Okay, so what came up for me is when we see somebody doing something that it is easy to somebody else and it's not for us. Like we look at it and think, man, it's so simple for them. Like, why can't it be simple for me? And what came up for me is like they're actually going through the same thing in some other area. It's like some part of their life is they're having to make really difficult. Either they're choosing to make something really difficult by doing something that feels impossible, or they're looking at somebody else doing something that it's hard for them. But it's like the things that are easy for us are only easy because there's other areas of our life that are difficult and maybe like out of balance or whatever, like however you want to say it. But it's like you pick the part of your life that you want to be easy. And so by choosing to make other parts of your life the part that's difficult, that gives you the bandwidth to, it's like choosing your points, like when you're creating a character. It's like how much armor do you want them to have versus how much agility, and I'm like, I think that's what's happened with me. It's like I put all of my points in like the understanding and like creativity box, and none of the stuff in like completing things and caring about like boring stuff. And so that area just feels like a freaking challenge to me all the time. So it's like, how do I've spent so much time and energy here that like, even if I took away some of the stuff, like some of the focus and attention and effort and put it in like the stuff that is like normal for other people, it's like I would have more bandwidth allocated to that. But I've already built the scaffolding and structure like from experience of having done this. So it's like I don't need the same focus and energy here because like I've already spent way more time there building that skill. It's like I need to move some of those resources and reallocate.
I agree with that theory. It makes sense. But there's another principle at work here. And it's the principle of the second you commit to something, it becomes easy. Like as an example, the challenge, like I've committed to it. And because of that, like there's no fear, there's no like worry, there's no anything. It's like I know it's gonna be physically very challenging. And I'm gonna have to keep fighting and struggling for the maybe the second half of it. And it's like,
Yeah.
but I'm okay with that because I decided I'm doing this no matter what. And once you have that level of commitment of like, this is happening no matter what I think, no matter what I feel, no matter what anybody says, this is happening. It's like once you have that level of commitment, it becomes easy because you don't have to continually convince yourself or like keep fighting of like, should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? Should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? Like, no, I decided I'm going to do it. That's the only decision you ever need to make. Yeah. Really?
Yeah, I need you with me at the police station.
Sure.
Okay?
Yep. I'll be right there.
So we have the car.
Okay, I'll just grab my shoes up there. I need.
Your passport.
Okay, perfect. I'll be right there. I need to go. They got the guy. I have to go to the police station.
Whoa.
And the story continues.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's really funny that we set that intention. And as you're walking, I saw that you were sitting inside a pyramid. So like, so
Oh, yeah.
whatever this intention was that was able to focus and go out, it's like, I mean, the odds of, I mean, what is it that they say? It's like if you don't catch somebody that commits a crime within like the first, I don't know, what is it, 8 or 12 hours, like the odds go exponentially to nothing. It's just really funny that I mean, I wonder how often it is that stuff like this happens. I'm really just fascinated to see what happens.
It's just, yeah, it's like blowing my mind. It's like they never find the guy.
Yeah, it's like the odds that like you're the guy. It's like so many people have like effortless, like drama-free vacations. It's like the fact that you got rubbed like is so low anyway, and then the fact that they find the guy is so low, and like setting the intention like, could I get the money back? Like, can it come back to me in any form or shape? And it's just like I'm really interested to see what happens. Like, do you get it back? Will it have some closure? Is the story going to become even more weird?
So I have to
This
go
is.
All right. Well, anyway, I need to go.
Well, I gotta let you go.
We're gonna leave.
All right.
Yeah, I'll let you know once I'm back and we can continue this.
Sounds good.
All right.
See you later.